on now. Yes. Hello and welcome everyone to the 23rd episode of our D&D 5e campaign titled Roaches. And today's recap will be once again done by Nordwick.
Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon. Good afternoon for those in the US and in Canada. So, to summarize, I will quite a bit. Our party has been employed by Duke Ashworth to look into the shenanigans of the cult of Akeshigal, a demon lord, or Akeshigal, yes. And they the latest lead that for where this cult is was in the city of Mainstead. So when arriving in Mainstead, one has to know that Mainstead is a city that is devised in 5 districts, and each district has several businesses under their care. They are ruled by a queen, if I'm not mistaken. The entire city or the entire region.
The entire kingdom, or queendom in that case, would be ruled by a queen. Yes.
Yeah. And in the middle of Mainstead, there is also a kind of a public park, but which there is a tree in its center that has been corrupted and that has been corrupting the entire park. It's also being corrupting beings that are too close to the park and thus become some kind of a wild aberration or wild monsters. Arriving in Mainstead because Mel had previously worked there and lived there for a couple of years. They went to one of the 5 districts, and the first district they went was the district of the guards and the barracks, where they got acquainted, except for Mel, of course, because he was already acquainted, but the rest of the group got acquainted by his it was his former master, if I'm...
No, it was just the former captain of the guard, basically. His master just sent him into the city, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, that's why I was still apprenticing under him.
Yeah.
And I was there doing wares and such.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And it was Captain Grey Gleam. She's the leader of the Shadow Blades, and those are in charge of the barracks. From there on, they meet an Arakokra, Songbird Freddy, asking if they can see their one of the other leaders of one of the 5 districts, a certain sorceress called going by the name of Rosie Stier. And Songbird Freddy agrees with that on one condition: that they acquire a book, a treatise on magic, from one of the private collections out of the Wizard Tower. And you have to know that the Wizard Towers are all located in another part, in another district of the city, which are run by the chain wireless. No, the
Ball shapers.
The ball shapers, and their leader is a dragon. And from here on, we'll start a series of agreements that you scratch my back, I will scratch yours. Because to go to the first they want to. It was an idea of Mel. They wanted to have a feel of how the leaders are about the corruption in that Central Park, and that's why they know where Captain Grey Gleam stands, but they wanted also to know where that the other would stand, and if the other faction leaders would help them. So that's why they went to the chain wireless or worlds to see that sorceress, and her spokesperson agrees to, okay, if you get me a book from another district. Going to that district, they first pass by the district of the Church of Absolution, which is in charge of all the temples. But arriving there is a procession on the way, or there is a procession going. Arahant notices, this is my character, notices a familiar face. It was a priest that the party fought a while back, and they know that that priest is linked with the cult of Akishigal. They decide to leave the district as soon as possible because this could lead to problems because the priest recognized the party. And from there on, they go to the Ball Shapers, where they ask the guard if they can see their leader or the district leader. And they say, yes, it's possible. You have to go to the head servitor. That's a person or a creature that is called Julak. They go to the inn, the Dragon's Hoard, and manage to speak with that head servitor Julak, which is a blue-colored dragonborn-like creature, but with fully developed horns and wings. And they obtain, contrary to the other, they obtain an appointment with Old Joltmaw, the dragon that rules this district. They tell them that they need the book, and the dragon says, "Okay, I am willing to give you the book, but on one condition: if you could retrieve my shadow, because the shadow of Old Joltmaw has been stolen by a hack from the Plane of Dusk. The problem is, to enter that Plane of Dusk and to retrieve the shadow, one has to obtain the permission of the Queen of Shadows to enter that said Plane of Dusk. And the Queen of Shadows is the actual ruler of the entire city, or even, as Jan put it, the queendom. It's still a kingdom, by the way, but semantics." So, it's true. It's called a kingdom, but it's ruled by a queen. I didn't make the rules about grammar. So so they accept that offer. They don't have a choice really, and they go to the last territory that they haven't visited, and that's that of the Skinners. There they meet the leader of that district, and that is an Etin. It's a two-headed giant called Cliff the Stitcher. And Cliff is, for a Etin, quite intelligent and very apt at magic, as well as creating creatures such as flesh golems. So he has quite some marbles in his two heads. he is quite forthgoing with the information, telling that he that the corruption in the park is the result of a druidic spirit of hunger, and you must see it as a kind of physical manifestation of hunger in all its aspects, meaning that it is the hunger for food, but also the hunger for power, the hunger for adoration. Everything that you can hunger or long for is given form, or made manifest by that in that corruption, and that corruption is what drives the hunger that is in every being, be it for food, power, adoration, wealth, name it, and by feeding on this hunger, they revert in a primal state and things like that. So that's how the corruption is spreading across the city, and the five districts try to keep it bottled inside the center. Cliff is willing to help them because his kind, the Etins, and the ogres that also live in the district have been cursed by a great hunger, um, and that's a hunger that comes from their descendant or their ancestors, which are, if I'm not mistaken, hill giants, and hill giants have also always an insatiable hunger for everything, mostly physical hunger, so food and things like that. And the reason that Cliff wants this corruption to stop is because he wants to find the seed of this corruption, hoping that by finding the seed, he can put a stop to the curse that is being that afflicts every ogre, every etin, maybe even every hill giant, and so forth and so on. Because Cliff is quite open in all those things, and is ready to offer their help. Um, the party, especially Arahant, is also candid with his information, telling them that they are here to try to stop the cult of Akishigal, because that specific demon lord thrives on both on hunger, but also on tearing down civilization and authority. So, because hunger is the commonality between the two, they agree to work together. After that, having known the opinion of four of the five leaders, they decide to return um, to their first inn to get to sleep there for the night. With the exception of Arahant, who before had an interesting conversation about magic with two Dragonborn, and promised that he would go back to them and talk further about it. So while Mel and the rest of the party went to the inn to rest, Arhant went back to the district of the Bolt Shapers to have his chat with the two Dragonborns about magic and its practical uses. And then later on that evening, or even in the night, he goes also to the inn. And that's where we ended the last session. So,
Very well. And I think you wake up in the morning.
No.
yeah.
Just gotta stick your head in that like a sponge and just soak it all up. And it was an information overload.
Yeah. And
Yeah, well,
I think what else there is to mention, the how they call it, the glorious hunt. Yeah, the glorious hunt is in basically the next day now.
Yes, the glorious hunt is as the word implies, a hunt for all those aberrations, those primal creatures that have been reverted to that primal state by the corruption. And as I said before, the 5 districts are trying to cull those beings in an attempt to at least halt the further encroachment of that corruption.
Never mind.
Yeah,
It's in 2 days. You have only slept once, I think. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, the moral quandary with it is that a lot of those were people or humanoids of some sort. So that we don't necessarily want to kill them, but that is something that the town does.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
we are
I'm still
relatively
here.
good aligned. I don't know. You could come in and just be, mischievous McStevenson and twiddling your mustache and see torture the masses. I don't know your character yet.
Yeah. That's why he's also currently on stream, noted down as 3 question marks until you actually encounter him.
I can hide myself until then if it helps. For an additional immersion.
No, you don't. You don't need to hide yourself.
Yep.
I think something's going on with Lodwick.
Yes, for some reason my camera is not has decided to die on me.
Yeah.
Maybe if I disconnect and reconnect. So I will be gone for a couple of seconds.
I guess Justin will or Mel will then take the lead for now.
No.
Is there anywhere in particular you actually want to go?
Well, what inn did we end up staying in?
I think you are actually not really staying at an inn, but like at the barracks.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Which is like the one place to sleep where I can't really let you encounter another adventurer.
Yeah. I mean, he could be in jail, and then we have to do another prison breakout. I'm trying to remember what our plan was,
Again?
though. Yeah. Again, might as well make it like the 3rd time because we had like the pseudo one too. But
We're already fugitives, so
nah, I don't like we. I know our long-term goal, but what was our short-term goal that we wanted to do this coming day?
our short-term goal is to acquire the permission of the Queen of Dusk to go to the plane, so
Okay,
that
so
we can retrieve the shadow of the dragon, so that the dragon can give us the book, and with that book we can go to the sorceress, which she needs for whatever reason, and so we can have a talk with that sorceress.
so the short-term goal is getting contact with the Queen, or finding audience with the Queen.
So, slight problem with that. This is not the capital city of the kingdom.
Well, that may be a long-term plan. Our short-term may be just prepping for the hunt and seeing what's going on with this corruption. Because by the time we get to the capital city and be back, it'll be long done.
Probably.
So now we just piddle around until the hunting. Sweet. I mean, do we want to try to investigate the the priest that you or the cleric or whatever that you know is evil that's in the town?
Huh. I don't know if we want to do that.
He's obviously up to no good. So I don't know if we want to alert our guard captain and crew about that potential
Mm.
blemish on the city.
And who's to say that the entire district of Absolution has not been enthralled or infiltrated by the cult already?
Yeah, but I don't think the guards and stuff have direct relations with the like priest section of the city. Like they tolerate them. They're not like outwardly antagonistic, but I don't think they actually work together. Is that correct, John?
I think what has been said is that they have there have been a lot of talks between the two,
Oh,
mainly.
okay. Hmm. Well,
And the bishop guy kind of seems a little bit crazy in general.
yeah. Well, I guess first order of business is I'd assume we would talk to the guard captain a bit, learn that this isn't the capital city. You're gonna need to go way off to go do that. We're like, oh, well, all right. Then we leave, and from there decide where we're going.
But should we leave and should we
Your
leave the city before the Great Hunt or not?
your audio quality got worse now.
Oh,
Well, I say we need to stick around for the Great Hunt because that's probably the best chance to get to wherever the corruption is and root that out. I think the helping the dragon and stuff is going to have to go in the back burner until we're done with the city in general. At least for the upfront dealing with corruption and such.
mm-hmm. Is it better now or not?
It's better now.
Ah, okay.
So I guess we wander the city for a bit, deciding what we're going to do as we're discussing with each other in relatively hushed whispers because we don't want everyone to hear what we're doing.
Any particular district or something you want to wander? Or just everywhere?
I mean, avoiding the priest district, obviously, 'cause that's where the spies would be most centered, most likely. Honestly, probably the safest is near like the kobolds and stuff. Either them or the Etten,
Mm-hmm.
because they seem pretty self-contained in their own interests that they wouldn't really interfere with ours, especially like because the kobolds know that we're doing something for their matron. Right, the dragon was female.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the district of the ball shapers.
Yeah, you got a good candor with them.
But two of them at least.
Yeah, but I mean, they're gonna like that shit'll spread like wildfire through them. Like both us coming and talking to their lady as well as having this small conversation with you.
Who knows?
So yeah, we'll head around those districts, not necessarily in them, but hanging around them so we can be a little bit freer with our words.
Okay. So just walking. So what uh what in particular are you actually talking about?
Deciding how we stand on the hunt, if we want to be active participants, or are we just going to watch? Because we already know that we can't do the other things in the city until however this hunt transpires. And then after that, we could leave the city or do whatever. So basically, it's deciding if we're going to engage in it ourselves or just use the opportunity to plunge ourselves into the corruption and see what that entails.
Well, going into or investigating that corruption could give us a lead about the cult of Akishigal.
No. But there is also the issue that it is corrupting people. It is corruption. Do we need to somehow get us some level of defense against that? Or are we just special, powerful individuals that won't be affected by such in such a manner for reasons?
You never know.
You can always let someone bite you and see.
Well, our hunt can be all about that. I'm about being like 400 feet away in my happy place, just shooting down range.
Yeah.
But yeah, that may be what we want to discuss is, do we need to procure some sort of defense? I guess to that end, the Etten and his group seem the most like they actively engage in the hunt, correct?
Yes, they all actively engage in the hunt.
Yes,
Yes.
the procession that we saw in the district of Absolution, in the district of the Church of Absolution, was to determine who would was worthy enough to participate and who wasn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we may want to ask him / his group about what they do to defend from said corruption. If they do anything, or if it's just like, oh, Joe, you got corrupted, we gotta kill you, Joe. Like,
That
Well,
maybe a
about
little bit of a drastic. I'm not sure if that's how you properly contain corruption.
let me check something.
I'm just a man with a crossbow. So magical defenses are not my forte.
But that's what I'm looking up. Because I do have a spell, says Arahant to Mel, that could give me a measure of protection, of give someone a measure of protection against both evil creatures as well as good creatures. I'm not sure.
I think that works against all the types of like extra planar creatures, doesn't it?
Yes, but I am looking if by upcasting it I can cast it on more than one person.
Hmm.
It's mostly that I'm.
Yeah. How long does it last?
I think an hour.
Okay.
Protection from evil and good. Nope, 10 minutes.
Okay, so we got a really brisk walk.
By level.
I'm full of arrows now. I've had time. Oh, I already have full. Okay. Yeah, just any sort of defensive mechanism to help out.
Mm-hmm.
But But while we're discussing this, I don't know if any other hijinks comes to play, but that's all we're doing, walking around. And Arhan is thinking about his magical acclamation that could possibly help us.
Yes, wait, what are actually you two passive perceptions? Both 13, if I remember correctly. But I've written
Mine's
those down.
14.
Oh, I've written those down a while ago, so.
Yeah,
no,
Probably people-
16 for Arahant, his passive perception.
How did
he's
that go
definitely
up?
more-
Oh yeah, you increased your wisdom as well, probably, at some
Yeah.
point. Ah, okay. Yeah, then our hand would at some point notice that way behind you, there's a guy who's kind of following you, maybe observing you,
Mm-hmm.
and when he notices, I guess you could give me I guess it would be a stealth check to check if he notices you noticing him.
Noticing me, noticing you.
You mean me? Stealth
No,
check.
no, not. I was talking about our hand doing a stealth check to see if the person you are noticing notices you noticing him.
Ah, okay.
And no, the person is not you. That's a pretty poor check. Where do I actually have my?
Oh, we did had a long rest, huh?
Yes.
Okay, that means that I have to reroll.
Your divination thingies, yes.
That's the first, and then the second.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can
I-
ruin some other rolls, basically.
But I don't think any of those would be helpful in that situation.
No.
Yeah, they are to ruin other people's rolls.
Yeah. He does notice you and basically immediately runs away into a side street.
So he notices Arahant
Yeah.
picking him up, and then he bolts it.
Yes.
Well, Arahant will say to Mel, I spotted someone who followed us, but unfortunately, I was not very discreet in my observations, and he saw it and he went away. But did I have a good look of that person?
Give me an actual perception and not a passive one. To see and
15.
yeah, you're not really sure, but it might be a hallucination. It might be
Not again.
because you have them a lot, but you're pretty sure you remember that face.
Oh no. Well, Mel will see that that Arahant becomes a bit pale again. And Arahant will say, I'm not sure, but it could be our priest fellow that we saw yesterday and that we fought a couple of days ago.
Still wanting to keep his eye on us.
Yeah, we're being watched.
Yeah. And we can do about it right now. Just have to keep our eyes about us.
So, shall we participate in that hunt? Or shall we wait it out?
Well, I don't
Or
have much interest in killing people, even if they've fell to corruption. I mostly do so in defense of myself. But I do think that's probably our best chance to be able to get to the root of whatever the corruption is and be able to stomp it out. So we should be involved in it, but not be involved in it, if you catch my
or,
drift.
or we could use it. We could use it as a kind of distraction while they are busy with hunting those people. We can use that as a distraction, try and go inside the park and go right to the middle of that corruption.
That's what I'm thinking.
And we're on the same page.
Yeah. Sauron, you are currently walking down the street, basically past a small gutter street, or yeah, like a small dark alleyway, out of which you just see a person bolting straight past you and dropping something. You okay?
Okay. I just stop for a moment and I look at the person and I try to notice, did the person notice that they dropped something? And if they don't, I just wait for them to keep on running and pick it up.
They seemed to have noticed. Like it was less of a dropping out of the pocket, more they dropped it out of their hand.
What is it?
Looking at it, it's a face.
Face or a face?
A face. Like a person's. It isn't like blood. It's
Yeah,
like
I
someone.
understand. Like a piece of leather or like a mask.
More like a piece of leather.
Okay, can I look at the person's face then? The one who's picking the face up. Is everything okay with him? Or her?
No, he isn't picking it up. He's just running.
Okay, it's kind of yucky. I changed my mind. I don't want to touch it. But I would actually try to, since I know a thing or two about magic, I would try to sense, is everything okay around here? What's going on? That's like the first, when I see the unexplainable, that's the first thing I try to sense my arcane.
This looks like an unfinished sentence. In the chat. You can give me an Arcana if you want.
Sure.
Nice.
Yes,
Sorry, save rolls. I will change the save rolls.
Yeah. Anyway, that thing is most definitely magic in that it, first of all, it's you can actually like just notice the how would you call it, the like passive magic around it, but also just the fact that it isn't really leather. It's like it isn't cured or anything, but it still isn't bloody or something anyway. It isn't decayed, and it just seems to perfectly like retain its form.
That's kind of interesting. I wanna, I don't know, package it up. I have a small bag and on my belt, and I wanna go look what the person was running from and running so quick that he dropped his face. Didn't even notice.
Um,
Or he threw it away. That's what I am more inclined to think. Oh, what the person was running away from. Uh,
yes, do the other two actually give chase to the person or anything? Do the other two actually give chase to the person or anything?
No, we didn't. I didn't. Never saw him.
Oh,
Well,
yeah. Our hunter
I don't
kind
know.
of probably pointed in that direction after he ran.
Nah. Did we want to go after him?
No.
Okay. Then, yeah. Well, we try to be
Um,
more aware, but we just keep going about our own business.
we try to do the same thing yesterday. Yes, yesterday, and he managed to get away. And chances are great that he has many accomplices. So if we give chase, we could run into a trap.
So,
okay, well, I will follow into the alleyway from where the person was running, and I will, if there is nothing obstructing my path, I will go out and look from side to side and see what's going on.
you don't notice anything really unusual. I guess the most unusual thing would be that usually in this district there's mostly kobolds and dragonborn, and not only did you just see a human running out of that district, but you're seeing two more humans.
Okay, what do I notice about them? Because they capture my interests immediately, since they obviously are connected to the guy running away.
Yeah. Mel, our hand, what does he notice about you?
You see a middle-aged man with some gray in his hair, with a big, custom-made heavy crossbow on his back, wearing scale mail at the moment, short sword at his side. That's
And
about it.
and about Arahant, you see a young man, early 20s, with shoulder long brown hair and blue eyes, and he wears the long robes and vestments of a wizard. He has a spell book. You also notice that he has a pendant, seemingly like a holy symbol or something like that, and he has a staff in his hand.
But as far as action, we've just talking a bit before walking, I guess, for the most part.
Yeah. They are currently kind of slowly walking away from you.
Um, I have a very annoying idea to creep behind them and kind of, hide a little, watch a little, because they don't look like the average citizens. Well, one guy is carrying a weapon that would probably shoot through me and don't even budge, and another is probably a priest of some kind, and it doesn't seem like a priests don't usually hang around with the people with huge crossbows.
Yeah, I guess if you want to creep after the party unnoticed, you can give me a stealth just against the passive perception.
A normal roll. It should work now.
Yes.
Yep.
That's one below our stealth. Passive perception. So, our hand, you now notice someone else following you.
But it's not and what does he sees?
What you mean? What he looks like?
Yes.
Describe yourself.
You see a tiefling man in his mid-20s, like 25 years old. He has a bluish gray skin and two large horns that do a little twist. He has a long hair that he slicked back and a small beard on his chin and a little bit of a stash. He wears a nice. He doesn't really dress. He isn't really dressed for the climate. He's dressed more lightly and more or less in summer clothes, which don't really seem to fit the city too well, as far as I see it. And yeah, and I have large red scarf with a small decorative gold pieces on it. Just a small decoration, an accessory. Oh, a huge book on my belt too.
Okay. Although
I'm also doing, like this Skyrim stealth movement that I kind of duck and slowly, slowly walk.
although Arahant knows very well that Mel is not a great fan of magic, he supposes that Mel will, will know that Arahant will only resort to those acts when it's necessary or of great urgency. But without saying a thing, just when they continue walking, well, Mel would be the one that sees it because he's just beside Arahant, but Arahant will point towards Mel and cast message, and into the mind of Mel, he will say, "I know you don't like when you're subjected to magic, but it's important we are followed again by a tiefling that is trying to be sneaky."
Can't even have a walk down the road these days.
Should
Alright.
we turn around the corner and wait for him?
Yeah,
Him?
that'd be best.
Okay, that's what we will do.
Okay. So you just find the next alleyway, go into it and just wait right behind the corner.
Yep.
Mhm.
Okay. I'm assuming you wait, Salron, you keep seeing you see them walk into an alleyway. Do you still follow?
Just casually talking to each other.
Sure. Okay,
So
let's do it.
right as you come into right as you then turn into the alleyway, you just come face to face with the two.
Yep, you're greeted face to face with the end of my crossbow. Who are you?
Um, uh, my name is Sauron Zagar, and I just returned something your friend dropped.
Our friend.
Uh, yeah. Uh, um, it seems like a gentleman was running from this direction so quick, and he dropped something, and he didn't seem to notice it. And I thought you know, is he, and maybe return it to him.
Describe this friend you saw.
You believe that a man can literally drop a face?
You hear Arhan say.
Can I put my arms down also, please?
You hear Arhan say, "Oh, believe me, we 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 are sure that a man can peel off his face."
um, then would you like to look for yourself what that man looked like? Because I
No.
kind of have his face.
He's gonna see Mel's brow kind of like raised, like what the fuck?
And you will
Yeah,
probably see that Arhan is trying to suppress a upcoming PTSD reaction.
okay.
No,
Um,
I don't need to see his face. I've seen that face too many times. Not
Uh,
in the flesh, to use the term, and also in my visions and my dreams, or should I say nightmares in that
would
case.
the gentleman with the crossbow let me put my arms down, please?
no, he's still holding you there.
Thank you. That's not
Well,
a hard task. And I was
now,
just trying to return a face, I guess.
wow, that one's no friend of ours.
So, no taxi backsies. Face is mine.
Wow, I know it's against your disposition, but you're more magically inclined than me. You may need to look over that face and figure out what
Okay,
it's all about.
give me that face then.
And
And
I
Yeah,
take
for
a
that
few
I need to
steps.
reach to my belt. Don't.
I
yes,
take a few
lower your
steps back.
arms.
Yeah, take a few steps back to give you some space, but to still give me space to bolt you if I need.
I slowly reach to my pouch and take out a face, and I like you know how you hang the underwear when you dry it off and put it somewhere to dry. Yeah, I do the same with the face and hold it like that. See?
Uh, Arahant will use. Do I have it first in the first place? Yes, I have it. Oh, he has it. He will cast Mage Hand, and he will use the conjured hand to pick up the face and bring it closer to him.
Yeah, you come face to face with a face you have faced before.
Indeed. Why? Why, Mel? Why am I being cursed and afflicted with those things?
Uh, Next time we see this priest, we need to make sure to put him down for good.
If you don't mind me sticking between you, I would be rather careful around it. It seems to be a magical face, not just a not just a face.
Not just a regular face.
I
Looking
mean,
back, so good.
it's as much of a confusion for me as well. I never saw people so happy to run and be so quiet when their face is not on their face.
Wow. Looking over Sauron. So who's your allegiance to? What are you doing here? Other than
I
trying to
am
be a ne'er
I
do
am
well.
merely a collector, or you could say I'm a contractor on the service of a collector that collects various items that my contractor asks me to collect.
Alright.
Not faces, no.
Who is this contractor?
He's a very, very, very wealthy and powerful man. And I don't really think you would recognize him, since the politics of Eastern continent is a complicated thing which have no connection to this region.
So you're far away from home, so you're saying.
Not my first time.
Well, I guess that rules out connection with the cult. I'm kind of like gesturing towards Arahan.
Probably.
You see, when you say a cult, I'm not pleasantly surprised to hear the word. Like, I'm like, oh, I just arrived. Why cults?
Because you're a tiefling. Okay. Wow. Only people that have been following us and otherwise trying to keep an eye on us have been involved in that group one way or another. Meant no offense in immediately assuming you were a part of that group as well.
If you would stop aiming at me with the crossbow, I would react more kindly to your words.
He hesitates a minute, but then gives like a nod and slowly lowers his crossbow down, still in his arms and ready to go, but more aimed at the ground than directly at you.
Thank you.
Actually, yep, go ahead.
I would kind of ask you about some directions or some advice about the city, actually, because I seem to be lost, and I don't really know where to stay, and I certainly need to look up some materials, and I don't know where to look for them in this town. I don't even know what district I'm in.
What district are we in right now? We're still like neighboring the kobold.
You're
Bolt
not-
Haver.
No, we are in the district. We are in the district of the Bolt Shapers.
Yes.
Yeah.
My good man.
Wow.
Okay.
And because you had the courtesy to tell your name, my name is Arahant.
I'm Mel.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah.
So, I was hearing some people yell something about a hunt on the street, and was kind of in a tone that is considered a warning, and I don't really have any shelter. Do they hunt like and I point to the horns.
I've not seen what these corrupt individuals they've talked about, so I don't know how they look, but you definitely look a bit more uncanny, so I would try to stay out of sight for it, or at least until we can gauge what they actually look like. And I look to Arhan, because our goal is actually to not participate in the hunt. I have no desire in killing previously people or whatever they were before they were corrupted. But we do need to use that event to try to find the root of this corruption and get rid of it for the betterment of the entire city, as well as our goals.
Believe it or not, I'm not really prepared for the news that there is a corruption. There are something that is not people. I thought it's just a town, and now I'm not pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I saw this town back when it was nice and bustling center of trade, but it's fallen hard since then. I'm still coming to terms with all the different nuances of it nowadays.
Then I would ask if you would be okay if I don't know, follow you around a little until we find something like an inn or some place I can stay, and I will be off your back. Because I really don't know any directions, and you seem to be heading somewhere.
Well,
Well, Mel, we have a better chance of succeeding with three than with the both of us. As apparently our other companions have have decided to go their own merry way.
I mean,
yeah,
there are two that are currently just basically watching the cart.
yeah. You can accompany us, but I'll be keep my eye on you for a while, so I fully appreciate you being in your own interest and not having some dastardly plan for us. No
Uh,
offense.
None taken.
And he'll move to reholster his crossbow.
I mean, I have nothing that would pass as a weapon that can actually damage you from this distance. I don't know, clap my hands a little, twiddle my thumbs. I can't hide my weapons. I have none.
So, well, as far as I guess the party dynamic, what do you? If we were to get into a fight, are you able to hold yourself?
I would.
As you can see, Mel has his lady Abigail, who has a very sharp tongue and very pointy, while I can invoke the power of the arcane, and to some lesser degree that of the divine also. Meaning,
You
I'm
could
with.
you could say I'm more specialized in arcane things than anything else. I usually rely on those to keep me safe and sound. And on my charisma, of course. And I give you a sly smile.
You said dolls, like in puppets.
Uh, no, on those. Arcane and charisma, on
On those.
those. No, I'm not a puppeteer, if that's what you're asking. I couldn't perform anything artistic even if I tried. I'm more of a man of science and an arcane. That's what I'm usually called.
All right. Well, can't say I'm too thrilled about more magic around me, but if it
Arhant
works, it works, I
is patting
guess.
the shoulder of Mel, saying, Do not worry, Mel. It will be all right. You were able to survive a mechanical engineer. So
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, if you survived an engineer, you would survive a navigator. That's what I would say.
Yeah. In any case, let's get back to the business at hand.
And
With
what's the business at hand?
yeah, as I say, with our new friend in tow, don't really. When we were in the guard barracks and stuff, how diverse was their group of like guards and other stuff?
I'd say the guards are like 80% elves, out of which more than half are Eladrin.
Mm.
But there are also some, like mostly the common races among them, like humans, dwarves, halflings.
Okay, I was just trying to gauge how they'd feel about a tiefling chilling with them.
Like, depending on how many people you saw, you may have noted there may have been a tiefling among them. Maybe.
Okay. Well, so I've
Ooh.
not seen the corrupted, so I don't want like mass mania, like oh no, the corrupted in our midst, and fucking like I'd say probably the priest would be way worse about it. So like I don't want to go to them. But we have lodging at the barracks and such already, so it'd be a matter of getting him there. I mean, granted, we just slept, so we're not looking to go back there anytime soon.
Actually recall anything connected to the thing you just said, like the tieflings, the elves, the political, racial relationships surrounding this city, or at least this part of this kingdom. Could I recall anything?
And yes, the kingdom is ruled over by a Fey lady, and a lot of her like personal troops and like the military and stuff is mostly made up of elves. Um, Tieflings are generally rarer on the southern hemisphere than the northern hemisphere. So you are on the southern hemisphere, so you're less likely to encounter tieflings here. Yeah.
Yeah, like it's just the main thing is that there is the presence of corruption, and I don't know what those individuals look like. So I just don't want him to be assumed to be corrupted and
I mean,
antagonized for it.
the corruption has at least not been described as like demonic or infernal in origin. So
Okay. Yeah, then I guess our next step was to go to the Skinners, since they're the ones most actively participate. They most actively participate in the hunt.
oh yeah, in the going towards the Skinner district, in that district, the preparations are already heavily in progress. Although you don't really understand some of the preparations, like on one hand, you see a lot of ogres just getting battle ready, basically. Some fighting with their hands or quarterstaffs, and some with like big crossbows and other heavy weaponry. But others are.
Do I judge their crossbows' workmanship?
I mean, they're probably. They are definitely of lower quality than yours.
Yeah. I mean, of course, it's my work.
But it's also, they're also not terrible.
Okay,
But
I can acknowledge the craftsmanship.
but then they are also like cutting off like basically towards the park, in the direction of the park. There you see some moving, holding like 5 to 10 chains, each ending in a bear trap. You see people carrying barrels of pitch.
Would I pay extra attention to the symbols? Do they have the house heraldics or any flags that they fly? Anything like that? Mark of distinction, I would say.
The Skinner's flag or emblem is it's basically a skinned pig, or like a stretched out pig skin, not like actually the skinned remains of a pig. That would be weird. Yeah. Yeah. What else? Barrels of pitch. And just stacks of parchment and various crates whose contents you cannot really see from the outside.
Okay. Well, making our way towards what was their lodge or whatever that the Etten stayed at?
The old pigsty.
Okay, I think it was something involving pig. Now make our way there to see if we can have a brief conversation with him. If not, then try to be guided to whoever's kind of helming the hunt.
There you are told by the innkeeper that Cliff is currently involved in, or is currently occupied with producing more weaponry.
Okay.
Or I
Well,
guess golems.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you kind of know.
yeah. I understand. I'll accept the euphemism. So who would be, if not Cliff, who would be helming your hunt? Could I speak with them? Wish to get some details. This would be the first that we would be potentially involved in.
The hunt will be helmed by a man called Clark, also known as Cauliflower Clark, because he got his ears quite beat up. He's a monk. You should find him currently training with the troops.
Whereabouts would he be at? Where would they be doing that training?
Back where they kind of repurposed the big smeltery building, like over there.
All right. Thank you.
No worries.
Head that a ways.
Yeah. In that the building from the outside, I guess, looks like it's military due to its multiple giant, like big chimneys on the top and a general, slightly more conical shape for smoke to easier escape. But on the inside, no no ovens anymore, and mostly a bunch of ogres currently involved in what you would describe as martial arts training.
Okay. Did they tell us what cauliflower Clark looked like? Was he a human? Was he an ogre? Was he?
He's the wait. Is he actually a full ogre? Is he a half ogre? He's a full ogre.
Okay. And then looking at the ogres to try to see which one has the distinguishing features that they mentioned.
Yeah, you as they are currently like practicing stances, it's pretty easy to see the guy who's I guess leading the practice.
Okay. Well, won't directly interfere. We'll kind of try to get his eye, but not directly interfere with his current session.
After 5 more minutes, they are finished with their set, and he approaches you.
Oh, you're Clark, I presume.
Yep, that be me.
No, my name's Mel. It's nice to meet you. I was told that you'd be helming this. Well, how often do they hold the hunt? Is it every month?
More like maybe twice a year.
Twice a year. Okay. You're helming this hunt. This would be the first that we'd be potentially participating in. Just wanted to kind of get your perspective on it. If there's any preparations that we should undertake.
Uh, yeah, I think the boss told me about you already. So what do you want to know?
Well, I mean, I guess the whole aspect of it is the element of corruption. Is there any defensive measures that you need to take or anoint yourself in before heading out to try to resist said corruption?
That's it's a complicated question. Uh, I mean, one way it's just stealing your resolve. Was we here are mostly focused on, but also should you feel yourself afflicted, in the early and latter stages, the affliction is quite easy to heal.
All right, so get treatment as soon as you know the signs, and you'll be fine for the most part.
Yes.
What sort of treatment would this be? Is any of that able to be on the road, or is it or in the field rather?
It would involve. It would mostly involve magic.
Naturally.
Um, at at the most basic stages, a spell of lesser restoration would suffice.
All right. Take notes, Arhan.
If if you
Yeah.
end up with any heavy corruption, depending on how far you're gone, you would either need greater restoration, which I don't know anyone who can provide it. At least here.
Would a
And
remove
obviously,
curse-
if you have fully lost your mind, it would maybe even need. I wouldn't know what kind of magic would even be able to do that.
would in the early stages or the more advanced stages remove curse also work or not?
Uh, remove curse. Yeah, remove curse would also work.
All right.
Well, Arahant will look at Mel and say, for the lesser restoration, I have us covered. And remove curse, maybe if I can go to a here in the district of the Vault Shapers, go into a magic shop. I could acquire a scroll of it, which I can then copy in my spell book.
No. Um, and then I guess I kind of like motion for Sauron to come over. As far as the corruption, just for the safety of our friend here, does it have any look like him? Does it will change you to look in that fashion? I just don't want us to be out in the hunt and then friendly fire take place.
Not really. The most distinguishing features would be, I guess some of them have horns, but most of them just have elongated claws and fangs. Some actually run on their arms and legs. And
I show him my perfectly trimmed nails.
yeah.
So uh, we can assume that they would be more primal in their appearance, not
Yeah.
fiendish but more primal, bestial.
Yeah.
So keep his wits about him. He should be fine.
Maybe
guess-
some minor features like moaning, screaming, spitting, a lot of saliva, that kind of thing, maybe.
Yeah, that mostly the saliva. They aren't really known to scream.
And these corrupted individuals, do they have a way of transferring that corruption, or is it more just an ambient sort of thing?
It can be transferred. It might be transferred via a bite, although that's not the main way it transfers. What you really need to watch out for is the plants and the thorns.
Okay. All right. Well, Naron, do you have any other question in that regard? You're the more magically inclined, I guess, as is our friend here.
I don't have. I don't have more questions. No, I think I got or I get quite a good picture of the hows and whys.
Does the corruption and this blight we are talking about rings a bell for Sauron?
I guess you could give me. Is it really an probably more of a history check?
Nice, 2 in a row.
Yep.
You. There have been stories, especially among more druidic or shamanistic people, there's often warnings to not go into the deep woods because of the spirits that live there. And they are also supposed to drive the animals and the people wild and even afflict the plants with some kind of hunger for blood and flesh.
That's actually cool. That's actually really good to know. Thank you.
I see that this is, or at least used to be, smeltery of sorts. Is there any active smithing going on here anymore?
Um, we do have a few smiths, but we don't really have that big of an influx of like ore. This is more like a smeltery to like purify the ore and stuff, while the smithy would be somewhere else.
Mm.
We mostly buy bars.
And what materials do you, or what ore do you typically deal in or wish to receive?
Um, we we usually buy either iron or steel.
How would one go about securing more precious materials, like mithril or adamantium, things of that nature?
You for that you might need to talk with the owners of the mines, so the bolt shapers.
Nah, that's what I was figuring.
But I don't even know if that I haven't really heard of an adamantine deposit being found.
If there is a dwarven district in this city, you will probably have more luck asking them.
Oh yeah, but I've not heard of. Like I've seen a few dwarves about, but not discussed with them. That's my mentor was a dwarf, so I'm pretty accustomed to dealing with their lot. Some could say I inherited some of the stubbornness out of character.
Only the best qualities.
No, no. All right, then. Well, thank you for your time and your knowledge on the matter. I wish you good luck on the hunt.
Oh, also, gentlemen, do any of you have a map? Like a map of a place where we are, since it would really be helpful.
Personally, no, because I am leaning on the fact that Mel has been here for a couple of years. I'm mostly trusting his sense of the direction of the city.
Yeah, for the most part, it's held true. Like I said, there's been some dramatic changes since I've been here.
So we maybe can ask one of our friends, ogres, for a map, and it could be helpful, especially when there is something called a great hunt coming closer. Because I would actually love not to be in the places that are marked with a big red cross on the map, you know.
I mean, if you're
Basically, I
joining
don't
us,
really
we're gonna.
have one. I don't have one drawn out right now, but I can very quickly draw one.
If you're joining our group, we're going in the belly of the beast, buddy.
Um,
just a moment ago that you wouldn't like to participate in a hunt and try to stay as far away from danger as you can.
Yeah, I don't want to be in the hunt, but that's our best chance to get to the corruptions. I'm not going to actually fight anything in the hunt unless I have to.
Hmm.
I'm going to be making a beeline towards the source of the corruption and try to root out whatever that is.
We're planning to use the Great Hunt as a distraction, so that whilst they are hunting those corrupted beings, we will go into the park, right into the middle of source of that corruption, and try to to, to see if we can do something about it.
Mm-hmm.
Any
Because of our
ideas?
proximity, we still want defensive measures.
You're talking about the source of the corruption and stuff that you are planning to liquidate, but could you maybe share a little how it works? Your ideas about the corruption? What exactly are we throwing? What exactly are we stopping? Do you know the nature of the phenomenon?
Yes, well, kind of. It's kind of a, you can see it as a form of a curse that will um, fire up your hunger in the largest possible sense. Your hunger for food, your hunger for power. If you like wealth, it will accentuate your power, your hunger for wealth, and so forth and so on. And that hunger will become so powerful over time that you will evolve into a primal state.
Um, Being a traveler, I heard of a very similar list of symptoms, I would say, that is usually encountered in the cultures that are centered around deep jungle settlements, the deep jungle cities and villages where the druidic and the occult medicine is most used one, and usually they explain this by this belief that the deeper inside the jungle you go, the more of a chance that you catch it, and that you can catch it from some sort of food growing in there.
We're definitely going to be more at risk of being afflicted by this corruption, but that's the risk we got to take. That's why I wanted to learn more about it and what defensive measures we could take to help mitigate that.
I mean, maybe if there is any source of information, like a library or anything that is publicly available, because is it is it safe to say that the city is kind of balancing on the verge of the humanitarian catastrophe?
Whatever happens here, if it gets out unchecked, would quickly go out to the other nations of the world. We've seen firsthand how we don't know if this one's directly involved, but given the presence of that priest, we assume it is with the cult of Akishigal that we've dealt with in the past.
That
Which
that
is a demon
priest
lord, a demon lord of hunger.
that that also have a huge connection. Demon Lord of Hunger. What name you say?
Probably
Akishigal.
better type it out. I don't know how to spell
Um,
it.
Can Sauron remember anything about this specific lord?
Um,
Do I
give
maybe seen how it's depicted, or how, or maybe
I'd
some?
say give me
Yeah.
an Arcana, probably with disadvantage. Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay.
That's 16.
16. Yeah.
Maybe you have heard of it, like of it in a book, or read like, or maybe seen a depiction. He's usually depicted kinda as a humanoid cockroach in a way, with I guess something halfway between horns and mandibles extending from his head, and many arms. His symbol also is like your typical like demon skull with the curled horns, but those horns have like teeth on them, like a mandible.
Ugly.
Yeah.
My lord, what did I expect? I will stick around since I don't really have any better chances at the moment. That's what I'm thinking. And whatever you're doing, I guess I will help you. Since it's not the kind of job a person usually has a choice in. I'm doing, if I'm collecting something for my contractor, I'm doing it anyway, and he doesn't want to see it any other way. So for me, is the best chance to stick around with the people I see, know what they are doing.
I just drew up a very crude map of the city with like legend above. But yeah, it's basically a round city with a bunch of districts, and like the main road is basically, and some of the quarters in the back are still like residential districts.
Okay.
I guess I fucked up the proportionality a bit. Like it would most likely be more residential than like in comparison, but like that's like the rough position of where they are.
I got you.
Where can we see it?
No, it's in the Discord.
In the Discord,
Okay, thanks.
in the Friday channel. Anyway, it's been like 1 hour and 40. Uh, we may or I recommend maybe doing a break right now for like 10 minutes or something.
Yeah, we can.
Okay, no problem.
Break this then.
Then I will just switch us back into, it should be D&D 2, I think. Yes, that's the right scene. By now I have like 5 D&D scenes. I really need to clean that up. Yeah, we're back. You have just finished talking to Clark, and you now have a crude map, I guess.
Yeah. I guess I would like to go back to the I keep forgetting their name. Not Bolt Shapers, is it?
Which ones?
The dragon.
The dragons are
The
the
Bolt
bolt shapers, yes.
Okay, I did have it right. To see about procuring any precious metals from them. So I would like to engage upon a crafting expedition while I wait for the hunt to happen.
And on a hunt, because the bolt shapers are also those where the former wizard towers were situated, I think.
I mean, they are still wither towers.
Yes, but are they inhabited by wizards?
Yes.
Okay, well then probably
I mean,
Arahant
you
would.
have talked with a lot of people in that district about, or with 2 people in that district about magic, so.
Yeah, about wizarding.
Does not mean that they are wizards per se. It does mean that they have a good grasp of the arcane.
Yeah.
But Arahant would try to look and see if he can get his hand on a scroll, remove curse, if possible.
Yes, Move Curse is 3rd level, isn't it?
Yeah.
Sounds right.
That should be possible to procure, even though it. I mean, it's a pretty common spell, even though it's not really the favored school around here. It's because with a name like Bolt Shapers, I'm assuming you would expect evocation. But people are how do you say it? Obviously, people are interested in removing curses in such a city, and you would find a scroll on sale for 700 gold.
How much? 700?
700.
Oof.
Yeah, we only have the party loot for that.
Yeah, and not even that. The party
Yeah.
loot is something.
Wait. Why does it cost so much?
Creating a scroll of 3rd level costs 500. So
yeah, they're gonna mark it up. Yeah. Okay.
That's expensive.
I think we could probably get a better discount if and when we do stuff for the dragon.
I mean,
Or if we happen to find a spell book.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, out of that you can obviously just copy it, and instead of requiring a magical scroll and just copying something out of a book would
Ask the dragon what spells she knows.
would probably be cheaper.
Well, in the same, I guess not in the tower itself, but in the same district, I would like to petition about getting precious materials, particularly a bit of mithril, with the goal of using said material on my crossbow.
Yeah, basically relatively close to the city walls. This district doesn't even. I guess it's technically outside the district, but like basically bordering the city walls. They have like they're like delivery point slash smeltery for all.
I will ask them about acquiring that.
So mithril is what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
This is an elven-dominated city, or not dominated, but like there's a large portion of elves here, and Mithril is predominantly an elven metal.
I mean, we do have some. How much do you actually want?
Well, my bow as it stands is 18 pounds, and I would assume probably a third of that is actually metal. Something to that effect.
Why mithril?
Just to make it lighter and look nicer.
Yeah, and
Okay,
if you
what you just said is expensive.
so
Yes.
and I guess because mithril is also like way lighter, we'll probably then still need only like half of that, so maybe like 3 pounds.
Yeah, something to that effect.
3 pounds. Let me just compare that to the weight of an armor. If we take
I'd love to have some mithril half plate, but that's like well outside my.
what is it? Mithril armor usually costs like twice as much, doesn't it? It's like
I
three
think
times.
it's twice or 3 times, and then adamantine's like plus 500 or something like that.
Yeah, adamantium is way more expensive. But yeah, that means it's like 150 for like 10 pounds. So I guess that one would also be already smithed. So uh, I guess 40 pounds maybe. 40 gold, not pounds. We're not in Britain.
I was like, damn, that's a lot of mithril.
Oh,
40 gold?
Yeah.
Alright, I can pay that.
by the way, have you? That's a great crossbow you have. Do you, by any chance, have anything for it to use it as a tool for climbing? Like a special arrow that you can shoot and it gets stuck and you can use it for climbing.
It's funny that you mentioned that. I was actually thinking of incorporating a grappling hook mechanism to it.
I mean, a grappling hook is just about the hook, not about the anything else, isn't it? So you just need an arrow with a grapple.
Nah. But I'd have to integrate a pulley system and such to be able to crank myself up there.
Well, that's fancy.
But was something I was considering. I was thinking more in the lines of chain than ropes, be able to hold a little bit firmer. But for
That's
that, I'd
cool.
need to lower the weight of the overall crossbow, hence the using some mithril.
That's cool. That's always fun to see what kind of construction people make up when they can't fly.
He kind of grumbles at that. But yeah, I paid the 40. This 40 gold?
Yeah.
Yep, I paid that out of my pocket.
Yeah.
That's what I will work on.
And they appreciate you're not trying to haggle or anything.
Yeah, I'm not. My next goal is to go for half plate, but I got to get some big bucks.
That you do.
All right. Guess while I'm entertaining them, if anybody else wants any materials, I don't know if you need any special components. Aron, did you get all your? You finally got your pearl, didn't you?
Yes, I got it. I got it on loan from the Duke,
Okay.
as well as my diamond for my chromatic orb.
Okay. Sauron, any materials you need? Precious type?
Uh, I clap on my pouch uh, on my belt, and I say, I still have some from the last time. I'm not that dependent on ingredients, so I think for now I will just save my money.
All right. I guess since I'm going to be having to basically reconstruct my entire crossbow, what would be a good length of chain? How long is chain?
Although I want to turn to the person who owns the shop and ask him, I'm not in the market for the goods, but I'm in the market for the information.
Yeah.
Could I maybe ask you or about this? And I show him a little drawing I made in my notebook. And maybe if you ever seen something like this, you have an idea where could I look for more information about it, because I was instructed that this city is kind of connected to this image, and I'm having a hard time finding where can I find something that will resemble it.
It looks like some sort of ring, doesn't it?
It is actually. It is.
Mm. Honestly, it kinda reminds me of those things the chain whirlers put on their whips. Or on their chain whips, I guess.
Who? Sorry, who?
The chain whirlers.
Yeah, I don't know who that.
They basically run the all the taverns and breweries and yeah.
I see. That's actually an incredible piece of information that you just told me for free. I'm pleasantly surprised. Thank you.
Well, Jan, could Arahant find a magic shop or something like that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Would there be a wizard-like person?
Most likely, yes.
He would like to ask if he might and he's willing to pay for it, but if he might look into some existing spell books to copy one spell to see if first the spell is in it, and if so, if he may copy it.
Um.
The spell is remove curse.
I mean, I should have that lying around somewhere, but how about we trade then? You get one spell from me, and I get one spell from you.
That's a good trade. And he pulls out his spell book.
I mean, it's kind of not really important which spell he copies. And I currently cannot see your spell list. I guess I can switch your character sheet to spells. Don't be alarmed. Oh god, how am I supposed to know which one of those are wizard spells?
Yes.
This is chaos.
No, it's not. It's not chaos. It's quite easy. You will, if you look at the list, you will
Yeah.
see at level 1 they are all alphabetical. So the first alphabetical
Oh.
are the wizards, and then with the second alphabetical, starting with command, you see between brackets start cleric list, because a cleric has access to all its spells, but can prepare some of them.
Okay, this
And the same for the for second level.
I guess you'll take Mind Spike.
Okay, well, that's a good one.
Yeah. Do you actually have the ink to copy your spell?
Normally I should have.
So, what time does the hunt you mentioned starts?
Oh yeah, you're not asking that me. um. May someone answer him?
Oh, sorry. It's like 2 days, right?
Yeah.
Well, he does has a ink pen and ink and things like that, but
It would be 150 gold worth of special ink for a third level spell. Can you even cast third level wizard spells?
not for the moment.
Just making sure.
I can use the third level spell slots to enhance my magic.
Yeah.
Upcast.
As we are metagaming a little, I wanted to ask. I got a little confused by the amount of the spell points that Warlock receives.
A spell. I mean the amount of spell slots.
Slots, yes, slots.
Oh yeah.
It seems that I have only 2.
Yes, warlocks only get spells. Basically, warlocks differ from other casters because they always cast their spells at the highest level they can. So all spells you cast at third level, and you have that's why you only have third level spell slots. They also refill quicker than other classes. Like normally, all the other casters.
A quick rest. A quick rest.
Exactly.
Okay,
but
thank you.
Exchange, they have less. So I think for level 7 and 9, they on that exact level they have like more spell slots of that high level available than other casters.
Yep.
Yeah, warlocks are weird. TLDR.
Now, Jan, I sent you my plans for the next couple of nights that I'll be working on.
Okay.
And the amount of gold you mentioned is out of reach for Arhant.
But how much was it?
150.
150.
Yeah, I
Party loot should
think
have
you
enough.
I think you bought that kind of ink at some point, but
Yeah, just
you
pull
may
from the
have
party
all
loot.
used it all up.
If it's for a
Is that
spell,
a
it's gonna
some
benefit
is that
all
some
of us.
special kind of ink?
Yeah, wizards basically need like expensive ink to copy spells into their spell book.
Yeah, I mean, if it's for the betterment of our entire party, just pull from the party loot. We have at least 290 gold in there.
Because I have a bottle of black ink and a quill, and you can take it, but it doesn't seem like it will work.
No, he
I have those too.
he needs the expensive stuff.
Yeah,
Okay.
I say you just pull from the party loot if you need to.
But the party loot doesn't has that much.
It does. There's
It
platinum
has
pieces.
25 platinum.
Yeah, it's 250 gold.
Actually, I would like to, if
Yeah,
we are in the magic shop, healing potions, please.
We have some. We have 5.
Would you consider sharing them with me?
It's assumed that each of us have at least one on us to be able to administer to other people. But yes, yeah, you could have one quotation marks. I think it's easier to mark them off from the full party loot so we know what we're working with. Because I know character inventories can get kind of muddled.
Okay.
That's my
I
thoughts,
would
though. I mean, you can do
I
whatever
would
you wish.
I would need like a 2 of those because the ogre Clark just told us that light corruption seems to be healed easily by the light potions and
No, he said restoration.
Yeah, lesser restoration. These are
That's
just
a
healing.
restoration, not actual healing potions.
Yeah.
so it should be magic.
Yes. That's a restoration. It's a cleric spell.
Yeah. So how much more did you need, Aron, for your? I don't know how much money you have.
Arhant itself has something like 18 gold, 9 silver, and 8 copper.
Okay. I mean, you could just spend a little bit of your gold, but then you can pull the bulk of it from the party loot to be able to pay for that.
Okay,
Just
so
tell me how much you're taking from each, and I'll update it.
Okay, well, in that case, 150 minus 18 is 132. So this would make 13 platinum less. Maybe.
Okay, I've adjusted the platinum.
Okay, so it should be 12, and then I would take from what would I? And I would still need 20 gold.
Okay, then take that from the party as well.
Um,
It's for the benefit of all of us for you to be able to.
would it be logical to ask a salesperson about the, I don't know, antidote potions? Because since it's a city with blight and corruption, don't they have something that they sell that heals people? Or it's just strictly magic and clerics and that's it?
As far as we know, it's just a magical affliction.
I mean, there might be a potion for that, or maybe.
Yeah, I got you. Like potions of lesser restoration, or
Yeah.
potions of restoration.
They're called something else, aren't they? But potion of restoration doesn't seem to exist. Can you
Rejuvenation, maybe?
Oh,
Or curse, anything?
In potion form, as far as I know,
I mean,
it wouldn't exist.
yeah, I also. I mean, technically, there are spell potions, aren't there?
Yeah.
So that would work, but that would be pretty similar in price to the scroll.
Yeah, because
Like,
Lesser Restoration's at least second level.
Yeah, it's just a scroll then.
Uh,
Liquid scroll.
Yeah. Because the
uh,
scroll benefits us in that like Arhan can just
I mean,
learn it.
I I guess it's slightly more limited as you can only really as you cannot use it at range.
Mhm.
Um,
It has to be consumed.
yeah, but it's still like 200 gold at least.
Yeah.
I do have the spell in my repertoire, Lesser Restoration.
Yeah, so he just needs to keep it. Make sure those slots are reserved for that, basically, for the most part. And then whatever he was trying to transpose now for the 150 gold.
So can
That's
I
getting the inks for
can
it.
I can I transcribe the remove curse?
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, how about I help you a little bit with the scroll you buy?
He kind of isn't buying a scroll anymore.
Ah, okay. So you already have remove course.
He is copying. You see that Arhant is. They are trading.
Yeah, the
He's-
trading cards.
Yes, indeed. Whilst the wizard of the magic shop is copying a spell from the spell book from Arhat. Arhant is copying a spell from the spell book of the shop owner
Yeah, the only issue
Okay.
Arhan has is that he
And
didn't have the inks for it.
and paid for the special inks to do it. The
Yeah, that-
shopkeeper, of course, does not pay for it because he owes it.
Yeah.
his
But
inks.
I see.
yeah. The shopkeeper kind of has enough ink.
But now I have removed curse, so the moment I have sufficient levels to be able to cast it,
Sad.
you never know. You never know. Best to be prepared, especially when we're facing against fiends and other things like that.
Um, does this shop has any magic items they sell? And I mean like enchanted weapons, maybe armor, maybe something like that.
Yes, they actually do sell. They actually do sell some magical weapons and
Maybe some
enchanted arrows
also, and
sling ammunition, and obviously also some melee weapons.
about maybe magic items of other sorts.
Um, so I'm assuming you probably want something that's useful for a caster,
Uh,
or
Probably yes.
specifically for a warlock.
Yeah.
I don't think they have something. I don't think they have something like a Ward of the Pact Keeper here.
What?
Okay.
What material was my little magical dagger made of? That I
Uh,
got from the carnival. Says
Um,
steel for a metaled enchanted dagger. That's how I have it written down.
um, I think that was also at least partially mithril, but also just partially enchanted and just also just parts silver.
Okay.
Um, the thing is, maybe they would have, but I just can't think of any magic items useful for casters. I guess technically there would be a generic +1 arcane focus, but I don't think that they have something like that.
Okay. Then
Maybe they would have something like an arcane grimoire, but that's only for wizards.
okay. Then I will just sit on my money for now. Then.
The thing is,
Yeah,
I
we all
just don't really know any magic items that are like, because it's like a wizard's quarter. I don't really know of a
well
lot of magical
pick,
items that are used by wizards and warlocks.
pick like a rarity that he could go for, and he can kind of push it
Yeah,
in the
if it
direction he's looking
like if
for.
it's uncommon or lower, you can probably get. You might find it. I guess that's all the states.
Yeah, so he can look over the list and kind of like get an idea of what he's wanting, and he can shoot you some, and you can look them over and shoot them
Yeah,
down or not.
maybe look for something like that after the session.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But no, yeah, the guy might have like an arcane grimoire and like some enchanted melee weapons and ammunitions.
Not my thing. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm deciding if I want to try to convert my dagger into materials or sell my dagger for money to make things. How much would he offer me for the dagger?
It's a pretty nice dagger. I'm currently just trying to find the thing where I actually wrote down what dagger that
That was
is.
yeah. All knows it's from the carnival where I did the sharpshooter stuff.
Dagger is a
just
simple weapon, right?
a dagger would be a simple weapon. Oh yeah. Effectively, that thing is just a +1 dagger, isn't it?
As far as I know, yes. Other than it being of having some precious metals in it that does not come up.
Yeah. That would be uncommon. I mean, it does look nice. It actually has some precious materials. Maybe go for. Hmm, 350.
Hmm. Hmm.
Actually, what is used by all magic users is some clothes like hats, capes. Maybe they do something funny, you know.
Um,
Hmm. Could he meet me closer to 400?
give me a persuasion.
Uh, damn.
Uh, nah. I would like. I would like. I would give you 350.
Well, guess I'll keep a hold of it then. Doesn't quite meet the breakpoint I need.
I guess they might have the head of. Oh no, that's also just for wizards. The head of wizardry, although it's a very simple item.
Surprise, surprise.
But how
Okay.
much
Like,
would he give me for this catfish plushie? This is the real question.
I'm
How
I'm
big
a
is the
magic.
plushie?
I'm a magic shop.
I
That
mean, you might like a plushie. I don't know.
what are you asking
Plushie
for the
is as big
plushie?
as a plushie, okay.
What are you asking
Because
for the plushie?
I don't know. I don't even remember where I got the plushie. I think it
I
was
think you
also part of
won
the
it
carnival.
at the carnival game. Yes.
It was like a extra prize.
Yes, he did won it on a game. In a game of it was an archery contest, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I think that was like the second prize, and like the main prize was the dagger.
Yeah. Because the only magical things I still have the manacles with the spike that can test our blood for poisons, I think. I don't know if it checks for other things. And then I have my shoes, but I'm keeping my shoes. And then that dagger. I guess technically that part of the artificial heart, but that's currently being incorporated in my crossbow, which I guess it'll get moved around here when I reconstruct the entire thing.
Um, maybe something like cap of what? Like a cap of water breathing.
How much is like hat of disguise or whatever the heck?
But I really didn't want the rest of the session to just become shopping.
Yeah. I'm good with what
So-
I've got right now. The rest of the session for me is
Me too, I already agreed to save my money.
Head of this guy, it's 400.
okay. That was
What does it do?
It allows you to cast this guy itself on yourself.
That's cool. But not that cool.
Yeah.
yeah. But anyways, I'm good with what I got right now.
My apologies that I went away, but my allergies are starting to pop up,
Oh no.
Mm.
and because it hasn't rained a lot or not enough here in Belgium, pollen is still in the air, and
I'm sorry, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I will just quickly buy a small timekeeping device from the nearest shop that sells them, if there is some. I would like to always know what time it is.
So like a clock or watch, basically.
A watch, preferably. A clock would be only if it hangs on a huge golden chain on my neck.
So technically the only watch that exists would be is a magic item. Let me just eyeball a price. Like clocks are expensive. Probably like 50 gold for a watch.
I think it's a forever usable device. I would take it.
Yeah, they basically need to only be like adjusted for once every few years.
No.
I will take one then. I think it will be useful almost all the time.
Yes.
Someone else with deep pockets.
Okay, I will add myself a pocket watch then.
Yes, do that. So,
That's our next goal as a party. Make some fucking money.
so are you done shopping?
Yeah, I'm good.
Me too.
Very cool. Yeah. What are you guys doing now?
Um, well, time went by because Aron was transcribing his spells.
Yeah,
However long that takes.
we're definitely in the afternoon by now.
Yeah. So eventually, Mel
So
will be looking to retire to be able to work on his crossbow. Because, like I say, he's basically got to rebuild the entire thing.
and because the hunt is only the day after tomorrow, maybe we can take tomorrow as a day off.
I mean, you may.
Yeah. If there's any other information scouring we want to do before it happens, basically.
Not from my end. I think we we have asked what the dangers were of the corruption, how one could be corrupted, and how to resolve it. So we already have a plan of action that we will undertake when the hunt is going. So
I think that for the night, would like to go to the Skinners, particularly where their uh, manufactory is, and kind of trade use of their workshop and such. Maybe make a little bit of money off of it to help them like fine tune their crossbows and other ranged apparatus while using their stuff to do what I need to do.
Yeah, give me is it woodworking, the thing you have, or is it tinkering?
I have both.
Then give me woodworking.
I would actually like to go chain
What's that?
whirlers. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Oh
What stat am
yeah,
I doing it with?
probably dexterity, yeah. It's fine tuning.
Jesus Christ, these rolls.
Would you like some help with that?
Alright, can I have the 10? Because then I can add 7 to it and get a 17. If he's still here.
oh yes, was I muted?
I guess so.
Ah.
Can I have your 10 so I can have a 17?
Yes, no problem. I already before you go to the Skinners, Arhant is tapping on your shoulder and saying, Mel, I have a feeling that you will be successful in your endeavor.
See, the problem was that they're much bigger than what I'm used to working with, so some of the tuning isn't quite. I've got to like do the mental math real fast.
Okay. If you are working on your equipment, I would like in my free time to go visit chain whirlers.
Yeah.
Since
There.
is it safe to just travel from a district to district?
Yes. It's not like they will just like it's not like you're getting murdered in the streets or anything. As long as you don't go into the park.
Ah, so I can just go and see about those chain whirlers, right?
Yeah.
That's what I actually would like to do.
Mel, you then make 32 gold.
Hey, nice.
Um, yeah, basically, the chain whirlers, they have a bunch of meetup places, or they own a bunch of tavern. The main one or their main meeting house is called the Broken Chain, but it's kind of cordoned off, and you can't really enter it unless invited. Um, Others include the Songbird's Cage, the Golden Goose, and the Sleeping Giant.
Okay. I would actually like to visit a Songbird's cage.
Uh, um, I'm getting asked from all sides. Oh no. um, let's
Should I wait? Should I wait?
no let's actually go with you first. Yeah. The establishment. It's like most of the people there are relatively well dressed. Behind the bar, there's a barkeeper actually wearing a suit or a tuxedo and a fly. He is an Arakokra.
So arachnid.
And no, Arakokra are
No,
like bird
a
people.
bird person. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay. Um, I will. I kind of have an idea from just the name of the place, but I will still go to the barkeep and I will just sit down and. Sorry, good sir. Could I have a drink and ask a couple of questions?
Sure. As long as you can pay for the answers.
It's a fair offer. I would just a pint of ale for the beginning and your ears if those come with the ale.
The ale would just be a single copper piece. Um, yeah, he's all ears.
Um, First one is actually more of a tourist question. Why the place has such a name?
Uh, the tavern where it's called the Songbird's Cage. Um, I mean, they call me Songbird Freddy, and it's my establishment.
I see. Then
It's a
it's a pleasure to meet you, Songbird Freddy. My name is Solron Zagar.
pleasure to meet you.
Uh, by any means, I this one would actually be a more personal and professional question, so please be prepared. And I take out the small picture and put it on the bar and slide it across to him. My I actually am hired to do a job, and I was instructed to find a songbird cage in which a songbird would help me in my endeavor. And I don't know, wait for him to answer.
And then you slid him over the notebook with the picture.
Yes.
I indeed know what that is. And you're looking for that specific one.
I'm afraid so.
That's quite a rare find.
My and I look at him deep in his eyes and use a small thaumaturgy
Oh no.
to turn my eyes deep black and say, my patron is a very, very special person.
Where would you have thaumaturgy from?
Being a tiefling.
Oh, being a tiefling, of course.
Yes, Infernal Legacy.
Ah, that makes sense. Ah. Um, so you're trying to intimidate him, basically.
Basically.
Then give me an intimidation, I guess with advantage.
That sounds great.
I mean, I would want something in exchange for it, definitely. I wouldn't want to offend your patron, but I mean, in the end, it's all business, and we have something to gain out of it as well. So, what you're seeking is quite a rare exemplar of these kind of rings. And
Excuse me, wings?
I just can't pronounce my art very well.
Rings. A
Yeah.
ring.
Or
Oh, I see. I'm sorry, I did not try to be rude.
I mean, there are a lot of kinds of these, and we kind of always need more of those in our supply. If I would be willing, or I guess my boss would be willing to hand this specific one over if you can just grab us, let's say, 10 small ones.
What do you mean by small ones?
So there's a place. It's how familiar are you with the different planes?
I'm familiar with some,
It
much more closely than I would like, but generally, only generally.
it is hidden in a. Oh, I mean, hidden maybe wrong. It is a place located in the plane of dusk. Pretty hard to miss. It should look like a massive black dome. That's where one would usually get these kinds of rings from. But the one you're looking for is kind of a rare exemplar. If you can just bring me any 10 of those, then we would have a deal.
That sounds like a very rare and expensive thing if you don't even consider paying in gold.
How much gold do you have?
I suspect not enough, just from the look on your face.
I'm assuming you wouldn't have enough gold to afford, you know, a tavern, and our organization, we run all the taverns, the casinos.
I see.
We are quite wealthy enough.
So I start to understand how much of an object of a significance it is. Okay, then 10 small, much less rare rare rings would suffice as a exchange, I guess.
Yes.
Okay. I'll see you when I see you.
Yeah, hope to hear from you again.
I need to find where to study more about those planes because I'm not familiar with planes at all. he might have asked me, but I'm not. I'm not at all. Okay,
Yeah.
for now I will return since I don't know, maybe my fancy clock says it's evening time. I will return and maybe ask my new companions where can I find some information about Dusk Plane.
I would like to first go over to Arahan to ask if he can do soothsaying. I guess the amount of money you would get from soothsaying would heavily depend on how good you are at attracting a crowd. As you're not really paid for the quality of your work, but like if you get what I mean, like if you're doing soothsaying, you're like paid upfront usually, and not like paid based on the quality of the product you provide. You're also muted.
Yes, I have an auto mute on my mic, so a separate mute button on my microphone. As I said, I'm having a bit of trouble with allergies, so I'm muting myself to not be too disruptive.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, oh, which were the prices that were given at the circus?
I think the woman at the circus actually called you over and did it for free. Like she called over you in particular.
Yeah, that's true. But was there not a sign or something like that? Because afterwards he asked, he also asked at that woman what the practitioners or the followers of the Great Catfish of Wisdom did, and then she said, "Well, we try to bring joy to the people by various performances and things like that, and one of them was telling their future." So
She asked for, let's say, a silver coin.
okay, so how would we?
I guess attracting a crowd would probably be like a performance check to see how many people you can actually get.
Okay, it's not my best stat, but hey.
Hey, nice.
That should be good enough. You're basically looking to do that on the day off, right? Like an entire day, or just the evening, or
Well, to the rest of the party, but as out of game. Are we taking the next day a day off to do our things or not?
That's mostly up to you guys. Like I said, I'll be working on my crossbow. I just don't know if
Well,
there's any more information gathering that we needed to do.
I didn't think
Um,
so. So and
if
working
you
at the crossbow would take quite some time. So
Yeah. For the
if
most
you
part,
could
it's only taking off the metal bits and replacing those, and then adding the whole under apparatus. Probably the more time intensive element of
Um,
it.
if you were to spend an actual like day with it, it would be 14 gold and 4 pieces of silver.
okay,
Yeah, if we want to have a whole off day to do our things, we can.
And you can also give me um, a perception check, maybe, to see how well, or perception, or maybe just general wisdom, just to check how well you actually do at soothsaying.
oh, but it would be how much did you say?
The gold would be 14 gold and 4 silver.
Okay, then I understood correctly. And now I have to do a
Uh,
perception.
Perception, yes. I think that would be most appropriate for soothsaying. Maybe just a straight wisdom, I don't know. I'd say perception.
Okay, well, because it's the next day, I first will. Okay, a 13 and a 19, nice.
Ooh,
So
but
if
if it's the next day, question, where are you guys actually storing the face?
Yeah,
uh,
fucking face.
well,
Arahant has it at the moment.
the Arahant will keep the face in his, will stow it in his, in, he will put roll it or place it in a piece of cloth, or roll it and stash it away in his bag, in his backpack.
By the way,
Um,
you know those cultists. Have you ever tried wearing those faces?
No,
Absolutely not.
no,
Never even thought about it. Maybe.
no. I once had a book and it took me over.
um, how very
Oh.
apropos. You know,
Some perception.
Glad
in
I
the
gave you the face then.
in the just in the morning of that day, while looking at your mirror, uh, can you give me another perception?
Okay.
Uh,
Not a good perception.
Would I
just
use one of my?
If you don't wear a face wears you.
Because it could potentially be
You could use the lesser of them, because tomorrow you're gonna
yes.
have tonight to get a full new set for the actual hunt.
yeah. So if you were to use the lesser of them, I think the total would be 19.
Yes, indeed.
Um, yes, like looking at the mirror for a split second, you can see yourself, with the wrong face, but just shaking your head a bit, it kind of disappears.
He splashes water in his face several times. Not again. Not again. Not again. Not again. Not again.
Ah. And
Someday
now
I
the
hope I will be rid of it.
and now the actual perception check for the soothsaying for how well you actually read the future.
Okay. Here we go.
Nice.
I will not even use the 19 for it. Oh, I could. Then I have a
25. Um,
yes.
I
See if you
mean,
plan on doing anything else for the day, basically.
But I think
Might use the
perception. If a 25 would give me a bit of a bit more gold, then yes, I would gladly use my 19. But if not, then just the 21 will.
Let's say you would maybe get some more donations afterwards.
Okay, there goes the 19, so it becomes a 25.
Um, yeah, you get a total of 6 more gold, and more importantly, your I guess your reputation is a lot better, or like people are actually talking to each other about the fates they have, the readings they have received.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I do hope it were good readings, happy readings, because we
I mean,
try to the followers of the Great Catfish of Wisdom tries to try to bring joy and pleasure to the people.
and for the most part, they were happy.
Okay.
Um,
What's the name of your religion? Sorry.
It doesn't has a name as far as I know.
No, you just said catfishoism.
No, the deity of knowledge and uh, in Jan's realm is called the Great Catfish of Wisdom,
Wow.
and it's the
Just
holy
like the
symbol.
plushie.
Yes, indeed, and the holy symbol does resemble the head of a catfish.
yeah.
That's cool. That's really cool. That's
It's
a
It's also
deity I could believe in.
it's
it's
also
also a
the
deity
it's also
that
like
that helps with visions and things like that.
it's also like the patron saint of traveling performers and circuses and all
That's
that
cool.
kind of stuff.
You seem to be familiar with deities and planes, and maybe you could, Arhan, clarify something about the Dusk plane. I encountered a need to go there, and I would actually really, really, really want to go there. Maybe you heard something about it, because I don't seem to know anything.
Well, we have a book that we well you will have, if you can stay alive, you may have the opportunity to go to the plane of dusk.
Okay, that's intriguing.
Because we want to acquire a book for someone that talks about the plane of dust of dusk, and to get there we need the permission of the queen of the dusk realm to enter her realm, because we have to go to the plane of dusk to retrieve the shadow of a dragon that has been stolen by a hag.
Wow.
Yes, indeed.
I guess acquiring something for someone, we have a lot more in common than I thought. I also have something to acquire for someone, but to be fair, I don't know what it is. The My research showed that it is a ring, and there are many. And I showed the Arhan the picture. Should I send it in Friday channel?
Yeah.
Sorry, just give me one moment.
Okay.
I'm assuming on that day Mel would be working uh, on the crossbow rope block and tackle thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, reconstructing my crossbow as well as doing the extra stuff. Then any free time after that is helping them since I'm still over their workshop. But
It's about a ring, and as I was trying to find it, a person who said how much it costs basically laughed at me from because how actually valuable it is, and it is directly connected to the realm of dusk. Maybe you heard something about those rings, saw them anywhere. I didn't.
Seen physically, no, but DM would other hand in his studies with his part at the academy and part with his magic teacher. Would he know something about the plane of dusk and more specifically the rings or not?
Give me an Arcana with disadvantage, and you probably would need a very high score. Like probably a
Could I
25 or something.
Could I that?
Let's hope. I have a +10 on Arcana, so with disadvantage. Nope.
The nopest of nopes.
The critical fail.
that's when you need the 19.
Yes, well, I use it for the good works of my deity. So, in the eyes of
Cash
Arahant,
money.
it's well spent. In the eyes in Arahant's eyes, his 19 is well spent to further the joy and the works of his deity. So,
I gotcha.
So you know as much as I do,
yeah, well,
basically.
I, yes, I do know of several. I do know that there exist several planes. Some are sister planes and some are outer planes. Not all of them are. Some are hospitable and other are less hospitable.
I
Things
see.
like that. But specifics about the plane of dusk, no. My
Are
apologies.
there anyone that you are aware of that specializes on the planes other than that person who you need to give something to retrieve the dragon's soul?
Well, I suppose the queen.
The like of this queendom,
Yes,
this queen, the person of the utmost importance in this country. Yeah,
yes, because
seems like an easy person to talk to.
well, we have to go to her because only she can grant us permission to enter the plane of dusk.
Yeah, I would ask I would ask to that a small, like, a sidestep question. Have we ever, even like you ever, people, spoken to someone who were above in rank, higher than, I don't know, city guard, any royalty, to be fair, any maybe duke, duchess, someone?
Well, we do work for a duke, so maybe
I
that
see.
through him we could get some letter of recommendation or something like that.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Um, but that will have to wait until we take care of the business of that corruption.
Like your mission and your party even more.
And the best way to ingratiate yourself to this queen would be cleaning up her city.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, I realize that we need to go knee deep into the neat and gritty, and I'm trying not to get bitten.
Yeah.
why retrieve something for someone always end up in something really really valuable from somewhere very very dangerous?
Oh well.
Why can't people just send me buy them milk?
Yeah, that happens in RPGs. Like, I need you to pick up this letter from my neighbor. All right, where are they? They're just standing outside. You couldn't walk 10 feet. Like,
Yeah.
But-
Other than
Yes.
that, over the course of that day, you would notice the different factions making their final preparations.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last pieces of stuff are being carted over the by by the Skinners. Um, like I said, it's parchments, ball bearings, bear traps, pitch, and actually also just some golems moving. Um, the bolt shapers are just. I guess they don't really have siege weaponry or anything like big that they need to carry. They are mostly just arming themselves with different kinds of. Like the ones of them who aren't actually wizards or anything are just arming themselves with some kind of electrified weapons or ammunition. Um, for the shadow blades, you see a lot more. Like you're used to the sight of like a Ladrin walking among them, but you actually notice a lot of other Fae appearing in the city.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot how the main. It's mostly different kinds of like winter court aligned Fae.
Okay. Yes.
Um, or that would in the Forgotten Realms be winter court aligned. I In this case it would be the Court of Dusk, but anyway.
Mhm.
Um, wait, how are those little spy guys called? Uh, anyway, yeah, the chain whirlers really only have like normal guys and spellcasters. They don't really have any special items or anything like that. Maybe you would recognize, or maybe you would spot some summoned and bound fiends among them.
Okay. Quite fascinating and
And
worrying.
also scary. They are armed much better than I am.
But we're talking not like greater fiends or anything. We're talking like mostly like closets and
Okay.
like what's the thing right above a closet? Like shadow demons, maybe.
I see.
Like shadow demons, I think are CR1 or 2, something like that.
weird because like they want to attach to something to just sit there and eat souls, so they can get strong, but they base like they kind of like skirk and like don't want to really directly fight stuff.
Well, when he sees sometime that they are taking those demons, he will uh, almost as a reflex grab his outer symbol and mutter a prayer to the great catfish of wisdom.
I don't know.
Well-
If I see that, what if I will, I don't know, pretend to pray too?
Meanwhile,
Ah.
Mel's like the opening sequence of that old Iron Man cartoon where he's just in the middle of a shop, just hammering down on something. That's all he's doing this entire time.
Yeah.
I am Iron Man.
Yeah.
It was like 1990s cartoon.
Some sort of a prayer too.
Yeah. They would maybe say to you something like, "Don't worry, they're under control. Nothing bad can happen."
That's your opinion, and I have mine. But thank you for the reassurance. And Arhant is thinking about all the demons that they already faced, the cursed spell book that tried to possess him and start his alignment shift and whatnot and things like that.
Yeah.
We have different experiences about the demonic.
Hey, I just, I'm more used to, I don't know, my character as a navigator, maybe some arcane master, you could say, but not a fighter. I'm more used to fighting problems on the maps and navigating my ship, not slashing through demons and smashing heads. For me, all of this arming, preparing, seem quite serious. It's scary.
The first time for everything.
It's not the first battle, but it's the first battle against something that is not humanoid.
Oh yeah. The Fae I mentioned are mostly Darklings and a few. They're called Vile Barbers. They're like small little, I guess, kind of goblin-y looking fellas with usually armed with razor blades that can step through the shadows very, very quickly.
I hope they don't put those in catapults and don't shoot those at us.
No.
Because I've seen such technology somewhere and it didn't end well for both Goblin and who Goblin was shot at.
Wait, I can. How does the token for these look? Does it actually describe how does Fae look? Because I'm assuming most of you know how a Darkling looks, but yeah, this would be how those other guys look.
Nice.
Okay.
Not good. Not good at all. Not good.
Anyone who would be living for a long time in these lands knows that they are mostly used as like I guess assassins, spies, and maybe how would you call it? Almost as a kind of secret police in case any major laws of the Queen of Shadows are broken.
Oh, those little dudes?
Yeah. Yeah,
Odd.
they are not they are not very pleasant to deal with, let's say.
Scary. Okay.
I forgot a faction, didn't I?
Yes,
oh yeah, the church.
I suppose they will not come with demons and things like that.
Um, No,
Maybe they have a hidden agenda. You never know.
they are mostly armed with like you know obviously there's some priests, but there's also just a lot of just warriors. They are obviously all masked, like you have seen them before, and
Mhm.
they are definitely mostly using or almost exclusively consist of humanoids.
Yeah, like Templars and priests and stuff.
And they will probably use as weapon holy magic.
The Spanish
Yes.
Inquisition. That's what.
Yes.
But their leader is an angel, so or at least a celestial being. So
You may see maybe some kind of very lesser angel among them, but not even really for fighting. More like a commander or supporting role.
mhm,
Hey, I wanted to ask
a guardian angel.
specifically you about your deity. I know that they manifest themselves, and sometimes they have not only their own manifestation, but I don't know, warriors, priests, maybe some boons that they give. What kind of a warrior? How would the warrior who has a catfish deity overlord would look like? Have you ever seen someone who, like a paladin, who would wear insignia of your god?
Mm, me personally, no. I only recently converted to their to the faith because I had visions from my earliest days as a child, and they were linked to some arcane means. That's why my teacher taught me spells and magic in the school of divination. That's why I'm also a diviner. Uh, but a some time ago, when I was called um, by a Kubutoa, a kind of a fish-like people, and they told me that some of my visions were uh, were granted by higher power, and that I was a conduit for that higher power, not willingly, but they just when they need to convey something, they do it whether I like it or not, and that's how I came to know that it was the great catfish of wisdom who gave me those vision, and hoping to better understand it and help to, if possible, control it a bit more, I converted to their faith.
I see.
So
Uh,
most of us are soothsayers, carnival people, travelers, and things like that. So martial characters, I do not think fall within the domain
you
of
have a peaceful god. I see.
yes, mostly
Um,
Mostly.
grantor of wisdom.
you would maybe know that some priests who are more, let's say, combat inclined of the great catfish of wisdom would favor darts as their favorite weapon.
Darts.
Yeah, like throwing arrows.
Hmm. Well, there may be some, but they will never use heavy weaponry. It would be things like darts or things like that. Something that can be shot or blown from a distance.
I see. A very compact and quick weaponry. More of a self-defense arsenal than an attack arsenal. I see.
Indeed. Fighting is not really the domain of the great catfish of wisdom. Hence his name, of its name.
It's a very lovely name. If there is a great advertisement for a religion, yours starts with the name. I love it.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Who knows? Maybe one day I will read your fortune and your future to see what your future has in store.
Actually, I would for myself, I would like a small token that I could keep that will be connected to catfish of wisdom. You know, I'm a collector a bit myself. You could say it's a professional habit. And I like to collect small tokens and doodads that remind me of certain times. And I feel an atmosphere of new adventure. And I would like a token of catfish of wisdom to be a reminder of that.
Well, the only token that I have and that I could give you is my whole symbol, but I need that to channel my.
I would not take that. It's yours.
But other than that, I'm afraid it's it, it's more of a. It's not so materialistic. It's more of the mind and about having knowledge.
I see.
A bit of performance is also required.
Ah, so you are an artistic man. You are an artistic man.
Artistic in the sense that you must be able to do some theatrics to put up a show. You cannot bluntly say, "Give me your palm and I will read your future." No, you have to embellish it a bit. And also, when you're soothsaying, you have to be a bit of the dramatic and make it a bit mysterious and interesting. So it's more about, yeah, it's more verbally and more with thoughts and ideas than really with things. So
I would love to have a fortune telling when we have a free minute. I will keep that in mind.
okay, I will note it in my
In the sea where I spend most of my life, we are not religious, but we believe in a natural. We believe that there are things that can influence our luck, and I like to keep the tradition and be on the good terms with gods.
no.
Yeah. So as you are kind of finishing off that day, I would say that we should end the session right now because it has already been 3.5 hours.
So the next session would start with the actual day of the hunt.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it would be on the 28th, by which Maurice should also be back.
Okay. May I roll my portent die now?
Yes.
Then at least that's done with. And
Yeah, the only thing we got to figure out, Jan, is how much weight I'm able to take off my crossbow.
Ah.
19 and 17, nice.
Because it's 18 pounds.
Yeah, maybe make it 3 or 4 pounds, something like that.
Okay.
Like you said, only really a third of it is actually metal.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, in the combination of lightening it up with the mithril, but I'm also adding weight by putting on the
yeah.
whole undermounted stuff.
Yeah, maybe make it 3.
Okay. Take
yeah.
3 pounds off or turn it into 3 pounds.
3 pounds off.
Okay, I was like,
You-
that's a pretty substantial difference there.
Yeah, if the wood is already 12 pounds, you're not going to get down to 3. Yeah, then if that's all, everyone may say their goodbyes, and then I will end the stream.
Thanks for sticking around, guys. See you all next time.
Have a nice evening or a nice afternoon for those in the US and Canada, and until next time.
Thanks for a great first session. I was kind of nervous, but you seem very welcoming, and I felt great playing and really excited for the next one. Thank you. Have a good evening, night, afternoon, morning, whatever.
And until the next one, have a good one, everyone.